the last episode, we told you about the racetrack terminologies and also the fastest way around it. In this episode, we're going to talk to you about how to get your motorcycle to do exactly what you need it to do. Accelerating on the bike is pretty straightforward. You flick the right grip and that's how you get speed. But a smooth rider is a quick rider, which is why you need to make sure that you do not flick your throttle open like a switch, but rather do it smoothly. It is the same for rolling off the throttle. Don't shut it completely in a single jerk, but close it smoothly. The gearbox is an important component to when it comes to acceleration. So it's important that you do the gear shifting smoothly as well. It will help if you roll off the throttle a little bit when shifting up to the next gear. You need maximum performance at the track, which is why it's important that you shift at the peak power mark. The gear shift light on your Apache will tell you exactly when it's time to shift up. Braking is as much as an art as acceleration, so it's important that you do this smoothly because the smoother you are, the quicker you will be. Contrary to popular opinion, the front brake is much more effective than the rear brake, so you should be using that a lot more. Just like the throttle, you need to be smooth with the application of the brake and squeeze the lever progressively until you feel it reaching the limit. It is only through practice and repetition will you develop a feel for when you're reaching the limits of your tire. It is wise to brake only in a straight line when you're starting out at the track. The Apache has powerful hydraulic brakes, so only 1 or 2 fingers are required at the lever. This also gives you more control over modulation of the lever while leaving the 2 remaining fingers in control of the throttle and the handlebar along with the thumb. The engine can help slow down the motorcycle as well. If you downshift and let the clutch engage smoothly, the engine will slow the rear wheel down without locking it up, thus helping with braking forces. However, if you downshift at higher revs and higher speeds, there's a possibility of you locking up the rear wheel. Today's Apaches can be had with a slipper clutch whose purpose is to let the clutch slip till the point where it can safely engage without the mechanical abuse, avoiding the rear wheel from locking up in a hurried downshift. Turning is the last thing that you need to master. However, it could get a little difficult for new riders as it is a little counterintuitive. When you want to turn right at speed, you need to push on the handlebar with your right hand with your forearms parallel to the ground. For maximum effect, you can pull slightly with your left hand. You do the opposite for a left-handed corner. In effect, you push the handlebar on the inside a little bit and this will tip the bike into a turn in the right way possible. This will feel a little weird at the beginning, but once you get a hang of it, you will wonder how you ever did without this technique. But once you're done entering the steering input, do not forget to free your arm a little bit or else your bike will keep leaning more and more. You're the largest and sometimes the heaviest part of the motorcycle and also not a fixed component, so you can have a major influence on the behavior of the motorcycle simply by moving around it. If the rider moves to the front, this moves the center of gravity towards the forward of the bike. And if you crouch, it lowers the center of gravity. This is a good thing because it helps keep the bike planted at all times. So if you're accelerating, you need the center of gravity to be towards the front, and when you're braking, in the opposite end of it. This is how you can prevent the front wheel from popping a wheelie while accelerating by leaning on the tank. And this is why the racers sit up when they're braking, because this enables the center of gravity to move backward, locks the rear wheel and prevents it from rising off the ground. Similarly, leaning over the tank while entering a corner will give you more grip in the front, which is actually a good thing while turning. And do not forget to keep your eyes level with the horizon as we mentioned before. Also, take your time while understanding the weight distribution and the consequences on the behavior of the bike at comfortable speeds. You have no need to go mad on day 1 itself. Keep a little space between your lower half and the fuel tank. This will allow you to hook onto the tank with your outside knee when you're leaning through a corner. Use this outside knee to pull yourself back onto the seat and not just your arms. The inside leg is kept busy too. Gently press on the inside foot peg and it will help the bike pivot, which will save you some effort on the handlebar. So now you've learned how to ensure your gear, your motorcycle and your mind are ready for the racetrack. You've also learned how to plan your way around the racetrack and how to use your body and your motorcycle effectively. In the next episode, we're going to find a way to put it all together in one shot. But before that, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.